to welcome you here to the Ezra Stiles Commencement after what I know has been a very exciting couple of days on campus. I offer you this welcome on behalf of the fellows of the college here to my left, on behalf of Associate Head of College Alicia Schmidt-Camacho, and on behalf of Dean Nalakshi Parnagamage. I'm a professor of history and American studies and ethnicity, race, and migration here at Yale. And as the presiding faculty presence in the college, I've had the great pleasure of living alongside these members of the class of 2019. I've seen them do their thing since their arrival on campus, and it's been great, of course, to watch them grow, get to know one another, and develop over the last 4 years. And now it's just a thrill for me and for all of us to see them graduate and to see you here at this culminating ceremony for most of commencement weekend. I want to offer one small organizational note related to photography. And the note is this, that we have a professional photographer who will be standing here in front. There's foot marks for them to stand, who will be taking a professional photo as students receive their diplomas. You'll have the opportunity to buy a photo from them at a reasonable cost. Those of you who'd also like to come forward to take your own photos, please feel free to do so. I just ask you not to block the photographer for obvious reasons, so be conscious of them doing their job. You might stay a little far to the right or a little far to the left. Students will be receiving their diplomas up here on stage, as you'll see. And with that small organizational note, I want to present to you the Ezra Stiles class of 2019.
Good job, Melina! Stop!
All right, Moose, it's great to see all of you. You're a great class, as we've taken many opportunities to say before. You led this college, you've led Yale College in recent semesters. You moved as a group, most of you, from Lawrence Hall here to Stiles. Some of you lived off campus for a while or took semesters away, but you've distinguished yourself wherever you've lived as a group of great varsity athletes, public servants, artists, poets, lab scientists, and much, much more. Well done on behalf of the college. Roughly 15 years ago, a report about undergraduate education at Yale emphasized that, quote, daily life in the residential college is an agent of education. And in my view, it's been in the work that you've done, in the conversations that you've had, in the arguments you've engaged, in which you've contributed to one another's growth in such central ways. In doing so, you've shaped how your peers understand the world, you've shaped one another's priorities, one another's commitments, and it's for that reason in part that I'm so happy to see you here today. We've celebrated your success here in Stiles many times, particularly in recent weeks, at your senior dinner and at a number of other events. But our greatest celebration of all, of course, is today, at the conferral of your degrees. Before we get there, we want to call everyone's attention to the winners of college cups and prizes. These awards were already announced at our senior dinner a few weeks ago, so they won't be news to members of the Stiles class of 2019, but we want to make these known to everyone else who's here today. As the seniors here know, they also nominated one another at senior dinner for a variety of informal honors, ranging from things like most likely to be the secret killer in a murder mystery, or most likely to be the victim in a murder mystery, or most likely to laugh loudest at their own jokes, or most likely to call in sick at a doctor's appointment, to various others. The more formal recognitions than those that we're about to read aloud honor contributors to the residential college community in particular. I'm going to ask those winners who again have already heard of these honors to stand here today and to be recognized when their names are called. Our banner bearer this year, who was given the honor today of leading our procession, was Rafael Tomás Esteva Ache. Received President Salave's handshake on stage and received the diplomas for the rest of you were Amy Lynn DePoy and Nicholas Gerard. Named after the head of Ezra Stiles, the first head of Ezra Stiles College, the Richard Sewell Cup recognizes a senior distinguished by both outstanding academic achievement and creative promise. This year's 2019 Sewell Cup was awarded to Melina Joy Lade.
The John E. Link III Award is given each year to one or more seniors who have contributed most uniquely to the intellectual good of the college and to the quality of friendship in the college. The John Link Award was awarded in 2019 to Ellis Burgoon Miskell and Constance Thurmond.
The Wilman's Lids Award recognizes one or more seniors whose presence have most clearly enhanced the morale of the college. The 2019 Wilman's Lids Award went this year to Gregory Pollard.
The Paul H. and Bridget P. Fry Cup is given each year to one or more seniors who have made the greatest contribution to the arts. The 2019 Paul Fry Cup winners are Alejandra Leticia Estrada, Elizabeth Berenice Kingsley, and Gilberto Science Jr.
Named after the former dean in Ezra Stiles Stiles, who preceded Dean Parnagamage's arrival, the Camille Lizarribar Prize is awarded to one or more seniors who offered both support and enthusiasm to this community in ways that enhanced the generosity of spirit so central to Ezra Stiles College. The 2019 Camille Lizarribar Prize was awarded this year to Jake LeFew and Min An Win.
The Ernest F. Thompson Cup recognizes a senior who has made outstanding contributions to the life of this college. The 2019 Ernest Thompson Cup went to Madison O'Neill.
The Herbert Atherton Cup honors a senior who's distinguished herself or himself in the realm of intramurals athletics as a participant, an enthusiast, and a leader in the athletic pursuits of the residential college. This year's Herbert Atherton Cup went to Jared Thomas Weinstein.
The Heinrich von Starden Cup goes each year to one or more seniors who most consistently challenge the social and intellectual conscience of the college. The 2019 Heinrich von Starden Cups were awarded to Fernando Rojas and Leland Zeff Stang.
The Rita Lipson Cup recognizes a senior who's taken the best advantage of the opportunities afforded by the residential college, as shown by intellectual growth, personal maturity, and active consideration for others. I should say that Rita Lipson is a former dean of Ezra Stiles College, was the dean when I was a student in Ezra Stiles College, and is seated here to my left. This year, the 2019 Rita Lipson Cup was awarded to Mohammed Osman Eltu Mohammed.
Now we have the pleasure of announcing Yale College academic honors. As you will see, these are announced in groups, and we invite you to recognize these students once I've read through each category of honorees. So please hold your applause until I'm done reading the list. Students, if you hear your name, please stand and remain standing as a group until you've heard that applause. Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude, distinction in 2 majors, and the simultaneous award of Bachelor of Science and Master of Science degrees, Tui Nan Vu.
Summa cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa, with distinction in 2 majors, Christoph Sven Funke.
Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude, distinction in the major, and the simultaneous award of Bachelor of Arts and Master of Arts degrees, Alejandro Octavio Nodars.
Summa cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa, with distinction in the major, Elizabeth Berenice Kingsley and Matthew Stephen Mister.
Magna cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa, with distinction in 2 majors, Dennis Jeshuan Duan and Alexander Keith Williams.
Magna cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa, with distinction in the major, Jacqueline Olivia Honnett, Sunjung Son, and David Jeremy Weller.
Magna cum laude, with distinction in the major, Madeline Lee Batt, Rafael Tomas Esteva Ache, Colin Hill, Jacob Jiawei Lee, Hans Narayan Tagars, Jared Thomas Weinstein, and Claudia Justine Zamora.
Magna cum laude, Jay Wan Lee and Sophie Victoria Caroline Minar.
Cum laude, and the simultaneous award of Bachelor of Arts and Master of Arts degrees, Fernando Rojas.
Cum laude with distinction in 2 majors, Sebastián Andrés Capchaunis, Claire Elizabeth Thomas, and Charles Monroe Urban Meade.
Cum laude, distinction in the major, Anushri Agrawal, Samuel Pinska Berry, Annie Chen, Teresa Chen, Jane Eleni Irons, Xiao Yun Lim, James Post, Sarah Beth Stein, and Jeremy Lau Tenlimko.
Distinction in 2 majors, Clara Tianchi Ma and Leland Jeff Stang.
Distinction in the major, Samuel Alexander Bennett, Cleo Rosadura Byrne-Gooding, Brian Gerard Cashin, Cecilia Mackenzie Cruz, Vikram Dhawan, Caitlin Renee Fox, Hallie Francis Geich, Kaylee Geffen, Nicholas Charles Girard, Margaret Inigo Grabar Sage, Camila Concepcion Guisa Chavez, Lance Savas Coconus, Melina Joy Laudig, Mindy Me Lay, Jake Lefew, Marcela Lopez, Emma Rose Lauer, Marissa Nicole Medici, Matthew Stephen Mister, Min An Nguyen, Seneca Rice Oxendine, Gregory Pollard, Darlene Rosa, Hilberto Saenz Jr., Sungjun Son, Allison Dine Song, David Jeremy Weller, Emily Randy Yan, and Alexandra Zafran.
Congratulations to all of these students. We now move to departmental and other Yale College prizes. Some of these have been announced already and some will be surprises. We have a lot to announce, and we'll ask each winner again to stand to be recognized. Samuel Alexander Bennett, winner of the Manuscripts and Archives Diane Kaplan Memorial Senior Essay Prize for his senior essay, A Critic Friendly to McCarthy, How William F. Buckley Jr. Brought Senator Joseph R. McCarthy into the American conservative movement between 1951 and 1959. Congratulations. Caitlin Renee Fox, the Edward Sapir Prize in the Department of Anthropology for her essay, Reflecting the Ineffable Authenticity, Indexicality, and Efficacy in the Tibetan Terma Tradition. Congratulations. Christoph Sven Funk, from the Department of Geology and Geophysics, the William R. Belknap Prize, awarded to a senior, quote, for excellence in geological studies, and given to the senior with the highest grade point average in the major, and the Hammer Prize for excellence in the oral presentation of the senior thesis in the Department of Geology and Geophysics. Congratulations.
Kaylee Geffen, the Gaylord Donnelly Prize in Studies in the Environment for distinguished pieces of interdisciplinary scholarship for her essay, Monumental Conflict, the Role of Local and Regional Conflicts in the Opposition to Bears Ears National Monument. Nicholas Charles Girard. Nicholas was awarded the Roosevelt L. Thompson Prize by the Council of Heads of College. This prize is awarded to an outstanding senior in Yale College, dedicated to public service to the team, the college, and the community, who has exemplified warmth, fairness, and compassion, and shows promise for moral leadership in the public sphere. Margaret Inigo Grabar Sage. Comparative Literature, the Richard Maxwell Prize for Translation and Translation Studies for her essay, Capital Algiers, Translations from the French of Selected Poems by Anna Grecki. Xiao Yun Lim. The John Addison Porter Prize in Writing for her senior essay, The Spectre of Borobudur. Jacob Jiawei Lee. The Center for the Study of Race, Indigeneity, and Transnational Migration, Henry K. Hayase Award for Best Senior Essay Relating to Asian American Experiences in the United States for his essay, The Red Ransom, the Alleged Communist Extortion of Chinese Americans in the 1950s.
Clara Tamshi Ma. From the Department of Geology and Geophysics, the Pat Weil Prize for Excellence in Marine Geology and Oceanography, and from the Political Science Department, the James Gordon Bennett Prize for the Best Senior Essay on International Relations for her essay, The United States and China in the Arctic. Matthew Stephen Mister. From the Department of History, the John Addison Porter Prize in American History for his essay, Bleeding Baltimore, The Plug Uglies, Anna Ella Carroll, and Election Day Violence. Ariana Benet Neal. The Albert E. Angier Prize for Exceptional Performance in Carrying Out an Individual Research Project in a Psychology-Related Topic for her project, Interneurons and Amyloid Beta in Alzheimer's Disease. Alejandro Octavio Nodarse, from the Department of the History of Art, the Walter Lewis Eric Memorial Prize for Proficiency in the History of Art. Trey Fills.
All right, Trey.
The Senior Class Award candidate for men's basketball.
Sungjun Son. Department of Chemistry, the Werner Bergman Prize for the Outstanding Senior in the Department of Chemistry. Leland Zeph Stang, the John Addison Porter Prize in Writing for his senior essay, Tocqueville's Critique of Comparative Politics, Towards a New Political Science. Claire Elizabeth Thomas, European Studies Council Macmillan Center, Wolfgang Leonhard Prize in Russian and Eastern European Studies for her outstanding senior essay on Russia and Eastern Europe. David Jeremy Weller, Department of History, the Canadian Studies Prize for his essay, St. Paul's War of Words Behind Minnesota's Battle for American Northward Expansion. And the Montaigne Prize for Proficiency in Speaking and Writing French, awarded by the Department of French. Alexander Keith Williams, Departments of History and Latin American Studies, the Max Bildner Prize in Latin American History for his essay, Chains of Law, Prosecuting Collaborations and War Crimes in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, 1945 to 1948. And the South Asian Studies Council Senior Essay Prize, presented in recognition of outstanding scholarship in a senior essay pertaining to South Asia. Congratulations to winners of departmental and Yale College prizes. The following students completed a multidisciplinary academic program alongside their major, and we want to recognize them now. These students received certificates of completion along with their diplomas. Please stand when I call your name so that we can recognize you. The Certificate in Education Studies, Annie Chen and Colin Hill. The Certificate in Energy Studies, Christoph Sven Funker, Kaylee Geffen, Clara Tien Simar. The Certificate in Global Studies, Cecilia Mackenzie Cruz, Gabriela Rose Esnaola, Emma Rose Lauer, and Arvind Venkataraman. And the Certificate in Human Rights Studies, Madeline Lee Batt. Congratulations.
We now want to recognize one senior among you who, in addition to completing the graduation requirements for the bachelor's degree, also completed the requirements for ROTC. She receives today not only a Yale diploma, but also as a commission as an officer in the U.S. military. Please stand and be recognized, Midshipman Bashana Chantal Sahabi. Members of the class of 2019, you've already heard great wisdom from people at Myrtle Beach, from President Salovey, from Dean Chun, from Chimamanda Adichie, from your family members, and many others. So I'm going to refrain from providing much or trying to provide much now. We're here mostly to confer your degrees and to pay tribute to what you've done as Yale students. But of course, we can't recognize your success, what you've done here, without acknowledging how far you've come and that you haven't made this journey on your own. A terrific group of first-year counselors supported you when you were here at the beginning as first-year students, giving you advice, talking sense into you, guiding you to important campus resources, passing on the values of this place, and showing you how to be Yale students. And I think a couple of them are back in the back. Grant. Are there any other brokers here? Thank you for coming. Now, class of 2019, you had many concerns coming into college. Some of them were helped by having these great frocos. I know that you have many new concerns and new preoccupations at this moment of finishing up your Yale education. I can say this, though, with confidence. You're an even more able, even more interesting group today than you were on the first day that I met you 4 years ago. You've done a lot of work over the last 4 years. You've worked individually, you've worked collectively across the entire curriculum. You often, over the last 4 years, I don't need to remind you, have not gotten a lot of sleep. But in the process, you've made new social worlds for yourselves here in New Haven and on campus over the last 4 years. You've experienced both gains and losses, and you've made this place a new place. You've gotten excited about subjects and projects that you never could have imagined 4 years ago when you arrived. These were things you didn't know anything about. You've also deepened your excitement, deepened your engagements with topics that you already were interested in when you were leaving high school. Over the last 4 years, you've walked up Science Hill, you've spent long hours in laboratories and libraries, you've ventured out to intramural fields and varsity athletic fields a few miles away, and much more. Over these last 4 years, you've seen Yale change, and in fact, you've helped Yale to change, to become a better place thanks to your presence, a more honest place, a more open place, a more enjoyable place, and a more scholarly place. Now, it's important to say, I think, that you're not the first to do this. The students who came in advance of you, who came in earlier class years, of course, also tried to do the same. And you know that future undergraduates will do just what you've tried to do so well over these last 4 years. In the coming years, as you think about the next generations of undergraduates walking through these halls, spending time in this courtyard and others, we need you to be the ethical, responsible, caring, hardworking, smart, and community-minded leaders that we've seen you be here during your undergraduate years. We need that, all of us. Class of 2019. In a few minutes, we're going to be giving you your diplomas. Your names, of course, are printed on these diplomas in bold letters, but we know that many other names are essentially written there in invisible ink. These are the people in your communities, some of them here today, who got you here. We've all benefited in this college from the amazing people who work in Stiles, from the dining hall workers, the custodians and facilities staff, the office professionals, and many more. You know that they've contributed to your education, and I'd like us to thank all of those people now. You've benefited from the support and incredibly hard work of people like Dean Parnagamage, from Mackenzie, from Kathy, from Mark, and others. And let's acknowledge once again the support you've received from your parents and your loved ones, support that's made being here possible. A big thanks to them as well. And now finally, 2019, I'd ask you to look around to your fellow students who you're seated with here in front of me, others in the class of 2019 who might be sitting in your row or just in front of you or just behind you, because I know that many of them played an important role in your lives here over these recent years as well. You've been surrounded by amazing people, and once we pass out your diplomas, your hands will be full. But at the moment, I think, except for these swords and papers that some of you are holding, your hands should be pretty free. So class of 2019, please stand now and extend a handshake or a hug or both to some of your peers who've contributed to your education and your well-being in this place. Being in your company in these recent years has deepened my hope in the future of the world, and we expect great things from you in the years to come. And now I'd like to pass the mic to Dean Parnagamage.
Dear class of 2019, last morning, I was putting on my academic robe to get ready to come join you at baccalaureate when my 4-year-old son Gihan stared at me, eyed me suspiciously, and asked, "Why are you wearing funny clothes and where are you going?" So I tried to explain to him in the simplest possible terms that a special group of Stiles students are wrapping up their time at Yale and they're about to embark on a journey, so that I'm going to go out and celebrate them and send them off. 5 minutes later, I see him. We have a window up there where he can see the courtyard. He's sitting with his sister looking out into the courtyard, watching all of you in your academic robes gathering. And then he tells his 2-year-old sister in his most big brother know-it-all voice, "Those students are about to go on a long road trip."